Praise the Lord. Homer Hickman, you better never get your butthole out. Before we get out of here, I'll show you where I'm at. I wanted to show you this quality service record. This thing has been looked at over a dozen times since April. City of Denver is inspecting this porta-john regularly. Probably for like overcrowding and just overall cleanliness in general. Make sure there's not too much stuff there, right? Make sure there's toilet paper and make sure people are safe. I'm in just a regular old Cheeseman Park, and this video is very different than the one I did yesterday. The one I did yesterday, I already kind of knew this as I was doing it. Was I mad? Yes, genuinely mad, genuinely angry, genuinely frustrated, genuinely at a wit's end and resolving Tom Acosta. And I knew already before I even started the video, I had to kind of meet or emulate. I'll say meet someone, but emulate. Body a style or tone, characteristics of speech that, who do you think that sounded like? You just have to watch yesterday's video and this one if you're just watching this one first. I wanted to show you something. You haven't seen it yet, have you? I've seen it before. Something just like it. I've seen this before too, but we are pretty much on the street I live on. That home looks very similar to the one owned by Ted Ashby's mother in Mount Airy, North Carolina, my hometown. She had a dog too. A big one. She never made its butthole a matter of official state policy. Her son was the bank president. He retired recently. Ted Ashby. Mrs. Ashby believed in Tom Acosta. And when we first did our mural by the Moody Funeral Home, there's a pizza parlor right there. It's a picture of me when I'm not gonna really edit this. I just wanna tell you I'm aiming for speed. If I could talk to one person, 8 billion people at one time, it'll be Homer Hickman. But I wanna reach more than just Homer Hickman. And Homer Hickman, you have something to talk about. His acknowledgement of my Aunt Jeannie and a tweet about her being the one that will carry the legacy of this family forward. She is older than Tom Acosta, and people in Welch, West Virginia do know her. She's well known, downtown Welch, but I have yet to actually find out if she's safe. What you should know is earlier in this journey, when I was in West Virginia, I remember recalling the only things I looked forward to as I left Denver, as the Greyhound was going east, was can't wait to see Uncle Mike and Aunt Jenny. We never saw Aunt Jenny. Tom Acosta said, we don't have to worry about Aunt Jenny. She doesn't have a phone. So that's kind of why I haven't been able to reach her. And also, I have made some calls for everywhere she lives, and I just haven't been successful in getting her. I have talked to her son, the one fighting homelessness. Uncle Mike fought homelessness and defeated it. So did my Aunt Nora. It is a really nice warm day. It was really cold last night. My goal right here in this video, I'm going to tell you my goal. I'm doing my best, the best. It's never been done before, not like this. And I've kind of done my share of like videos where I just let the camera roll. I don't take any breaks. There won't be any edits. It's just kind of like, it's exactly what happened. What the fuck happened, but what happened. When I did The Future Belongs Only to Those Who Believe in the Beauty of Their Dreams. It's just so in the title. That video captivated a lot of people. It was a really strong video. It was a very hard one to do, but it was just very, once it got up, it was up. I still believe in that video. It showcases where I was at in that moment. It helped me get through that situation. Really, it did. Truly, when I finished the video, I showed the person I was with the video, and they were very touched by how much they learned about how severe homelessness is. And I met their grandfather. Their grandfather brought me a meal at K&W, I think. A very, like, definitely a Forsyth County thing. I think there's maybe one in my hometown. I come out here so often in the nighttime. I want to be alone. And thinking about starting this video, one of the things I wanted to do was I wanted to start it in Portageon. Wanted to do that. There's been so much angst and frustration and trying to resolve time costs to communicate with people. Know him, should do it. But in leashing out anger and referring to where they go to the bathroom, it ends up in the Tug Fork River. I've been recommending they get to Portageon and to see ours expected that way so often. Other thoughts on Portageons would be, I have a few experiences you might not know. Nothing really particularly seedy. I remember contacting somebody in West Virginia when I was in one and didn't know how to, like, where would I go while I was homeless. It was like 4 o'clock in the morning. How would I get to a better spot? Where would I leave when I left that place? I did also spend quite some hours one night in one and wanting to just disappear. But I did that somewhere else as well. And I never got about a whole out to get F6. I like that. Here in Cheeseman Park, I have made a big deal about people coming here to get their teeth sucked. You think about it, Bill Clinton didn't have that luxury, and he probably, as president, wouldn't have risked that. He had to do it at home, working from home, and multitasking. And I wonder what he thinks of that Fifth Harmony song. But overall, I'm more of a Hillary Clinton person. My goal is to just get a grassy, shady spot, keep the camera on, and keep talking until you, I already told you that I had to kind of feel like Jim Justice yesterday. And it was off-brand. It was not my normal, hold on a minute. It was my more normal tone, and I will link videos in the description and reference some right now. Favorite ladies of the 80s. At least as famous as Pamela Anderson. These are titles of videos I've already done. The one I mentioned earlier, the future only belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. Great examples to live by. George H.W. Bush and Whitney Houston. Mini videos. I don't know if that's home of the video I did yesterday. The video I did yesterday came in an unusual situation where I wasn't in a situation that I have been in other videos, like in San Francisco. And the credit limit is just wide open, and I'm angry, not able to make progress, and things are dangerous. I have traded at that point, late in the 725 days I was homeless, traded a job for a homeless shelter I could stay at and go to and leave for 48 hours at a time. I met the most beautiful homeless girl in the world. What happened to the most beautiful homeless girl in the world? That would be after I defeated homelessness video I did recently. I'm no longer in that more than 16 times more likely to die. I'm relaxing at a park. Can you hear that? It's an emergency. Sounds like a fire truck. Hope you can hear that. Probably can. And then you can hear the bird song. For somebody right now, they're going through hell. They might not be sure if they're gonna live. They might not already. They could not be breathing. We don't know what's going on. Possibly neither does the dispatcher, the firefighters, them, their spouse, their children. Right over here's downtown Denver. I'm just gonna keep going as it's going, and I'm gonna smoke a cigarette. There it is. We'll go there. I like to come over here at night, more so than the day. I've been more nocturnal, my mother was, and I have been that way, particularly lately. You feel more at one with the night. You cannot assimilate with people, with jobs and homes. I did get myself involved in a job inquiry today, even though I don't have a social. And is applying for disability what I really want to do? No, I want my life to be about philanthropy. I want time costs resolved. Homer, I said yesterday, if you are a grandma in Arkansas, you may have heard of the Ameribank scandal around 2000. Largest, whatever it is, it was a very big, technically, I'm not sure. It was a bank scandal, one of the largest in history. And it was happening in Keystone, West Virginia. Around the turn of the new millennium, and I ain't quite sure exactly when, our delegate Cliff Moore got his second of many DUIs, like 8, 9, something like that. But I said around that time, about the time Cliff Moore got his second DUI, around the time Ameribank scandal happened, and people just, boomers, just kind of like, we're in a shock and awe. And then we had the 2001 floods. We also had 9/11. Goal of this video is to tell you not perfect. And, you know, that video I did yesterday, I knew as I was doing it. I knew before I even did it. I'm not trying to put a video up not knowing if I will be alive anymore. I knew I'd probably make it back home because I had one. I was so mad, right? More of a, and I still stand by and believe in the video I did yesterday. Now it's in the McDowell County, West Virginia Festival of Terds. I do believe I made a very valid point in that Harold McBride could have been better to me all along. Harold McBride is the mayor of Welch and hasn't really believed in Nathan that I know of since I saw him in 2013 at the McDowell County Expo. Guess who is the administrator? The only one, I think, of the Facebook page for the McDowell County Expo. A one-time event coordinated, I think, by Reconnect McDowell, but it had every organization helping families and kids there. I worked it for WVU. Funny thing I mentioned that, I got a lot of thoughts on WVU these days. WVU's president, Gordon Gay, is retiring at $792,000 a year. And the new president isn't even a boomer. Gordon Gay's from the silent generation. And Michael Benson is someone that was born in 1965. So he's Gen X. He's making a $400,000 raise. That's going on. Drugs, dreams, and the deadliest sins. 7 thumbs up. It is not the tone the video I did yesterday. That was a life or death situation. That was a complex video. That was a time I had to survive. You had to watch the whole damn video and figure out as I say it and explain it step by step. One of my proudest videos. I couldn't have done it alone. At that very bank, I had my friend from West Virginia help me on the BART train. There was the black lady, I don't think you saw her. She got out of jail, didn't have shoes. She knew where she was going, and she knew the system, and she knew she was gonna be all right if we had a short-term relationship with, here, take this card, I think we can get on so we can accomplish our goal of, our mutual goal, of getting tobacco as soon as possible. I had like $4 or something. She had, like, we had just barely enough, and she kind of knew where to go. And if she gave me her card so I could get on the train, but it didn't, her plan didn't work because it wasn't fully, it didn't have any ticket on it left. And then when that happened, the relationship was immediately over. But I let her use my phone. I said, I ain't perfect. Go this video. He just talk to you. I want to talk to you again. Again. Homer. As much as I can. I tell you, a secretary at Fall River Elementary had a big role in planning that festival that I worked at, or I had to be a part of every other weekend. And I've complained about all the work I had to do. But I always took pride in painting that mural in Princeton, West Virginia, in honor of all veterans. Tom Acosta and Ellen Justice were awarded the contract to me and Drew Acosta. I had to do a lot of that. Too much of it. Got more to say on that. But that project is for all veterans. It was done in 2002. I remember my involvement with the festival, it seemed like it was more, a little bit before that. But I can't talk to Elvis Presley Homer already knows, before Elvis Presley became a worldwide sensation, just a couple months before, he was at Big Creek High School. Hold on a minute. In War, West Virginia, so the southernmost city. Tiny little place. Orby Campbell was the old lady that had a diner. Me and Tom Acosta went there, and I counted at least 7, maybe more than that, pictures of John F. Kennedy. She never stopped believing in John F. Kennedy. Probably she never stopped believing in Elvis. Elvis Presley performed before he was a big shot. Then right after that, he went to Europe. Kind of like, I think the record industry kind of knew he was going to be a star. But this was just kind of like until the tour and everything. It was just kind of like before they had turned him into Elvis Presley, right? We had millions of women knowing his name and people, all people. He was right there in McDowell County, where I'm from. If you don't know who Homer Hickman is, you probably know who Jake Gyllenhaal is. Homer, I'd like to meet him soon. Did Jake Gyllenhaal ever get his butthole out? Kinda. And I do have a fascinating story about Heath Ledger. I didn't meet him. I was going to, when did Jake Gyllenhaal get his butthole out? In that movie, Brokeback Mountain, when they was falling in love. A lot of people don't agree with that. It was a movie. Or that movie, even if you don't agree with it, you can understand this, what I'm about to say. That movie is a strife and a struggle and a very sad story because they couldn't believe the same thing at the same time. For this or that reason. There's probably other movies like that. Maybe The Glass Castle. Jeanette Walls is also from where I'm from, and I have bitter feelings towards her. Because she found out I was homeless. She responded. She's the #1 New York Times bestselling author. Like, apparently Steve Harvey is too. Also from where I'm from. Steve Harvey on Family Feud. Or the Steve Harvey Show. Steve Harvey has like a net worth of, I think, according to Wikipedia, from my memory, like $200 million. Jeanette Walls did that movie with Woody Harrelson, and her father could never quite believe, they could believe in that Glass Castle. They could never quite believe in getting it started. He was an alcoholic. And I read that book years before the movie came out. I'm at this park, and it's very different from Panther Forest. Panther Forest is a place Tom Acosta went when he was young. It's near Geiger. One of his favorite paintings is over there. Today it's just so peaceful. You know what else? I can't stay very long. I do have some space constraints on this phone. I think I have a video called The Most Beautiful Story I Can Make Today when I got the iPhone. I said this smaller phone will help me work smarter and make me more efficient. We're at 25 minutes already, so we're gonna cut this. I'll wrap it up about 30. The video I did yesterday is like 4 or 5 minutes long. And I was in a time constraint then too. I had a dentist appointment right then. swung right into the dentist. After therapy, she stopped believing in it. I never really completely was, because I think people gotta understand, what was she ever gonna do about my two main problems? Resolve atomic Costa. Not legit father sleeping with a 7-year-old boy. Saying alleged hurt. Well, I have some questions and things I don't want to talk about in this video. Why I say alleged. Things I remember. Things I remember hearing. But I can't stay long for another reason. Because we had home emergency. We sure did. And I've got to get back. It's all right. It's settled now. What happened was there was a stove I left on, and the gas kind of built up and made a fume smell. And so I noticed that, but I did not notice that I left a pot holder on the eye of it, over it. And that part kind of like burned slowly. Because I smoked cigarettes, I didn't smell it. And so that's caused by an ongoing maintenance issue. I can't start the stove. That was a contributing factor to why all this kind of happened. It's just kind of like, best way I can describe it in a nutshell. You know, like when you get in a car wreck, you can have like four things on your mind, and your kids drive you nuts, and it's just kind of like you've already got the stress of the day. Well, instead of being in a car like that, another good video would be, what do I call it? If I have to pull this scooter over, I remember that time when I was right by a dumpster. I think that's the title of the video. It'll be linked in the description. At that time I was still in that fighting to survive. Where was I gonna go? And I was waiting on somebody who told me they told me if I had asked for a hotel room for a month, I should ask for it. They could make that happen. I had a hotel room for a month, and I got pretty close with 3 weeks. I believe it's really, really, an emergency. Like, how do you lift someone out of homelessness? If they can start work and be in a hotel for a month, it'll probably get you into a room to rent. I was very close. Very close to doing that. Then I had to go to San Francisco. And I traded a job for a place to stay, couldn't work. I sent over $200 of food to someone in this family who defeated homelessness. Single mother. When I was in California. I sent food to a few other people in the family too. For different reasons. For my mother. For nostalgic reasons. I think there's how I'm caring about the best homeless U.S. veteran in the world. See him steak. I talk about Bramwell and the town of millionaires. And how those people paid over $500 for painting of their own home. To be planted or painted by Tom Acosta as he was recovering from a quadruple heart bypass and not really fulfilling his commitment to the town right now. I look at my camera roll and I just correlate, like, look at the dates and look at seeing how close things are. And I can tell you from memory what did Tom Acosta do right before he was starting on that mural indoors at the Napa. Originally a building at the Wilton Welch called the Napa Auto Parts Store, but it had become the Jack Caffrey Art Center. Jack Caffrey was from U.S. Steel. Google him. He was a town elder, a leader for a very long time. I know him. Kind of a person like Miss Ashby. You just saw her look-alike house. I wish this video could be seen by Ted Ashby right now. My mother was about to lose her home. She was getting divorced. It's like we had that acquisition of real estate for a little collection of rent houses. Like, you had one on Winston, you had one on Penn Street, we had one on Junction Street. She still owns. And she was about to lose the home we lived in. Ted did her a favor. She baked him cookies. That access connection has never been regained. And it can't really be regained with videos like I did yesterday saying, get your buttholes out. But it's funny. But also some serious points I never got to on that. When Chief Justice did that, he didn't say get your buttholes out. He just showed us an English Bulldogs. Throw into a way that Robert C. Byrd never would have done. The longest serving senator in United States history. And I was 5 miles away from his birthplace when I was homeless in the first week, rescued by a U.S. veteran of the Vietnam War. All this history and events and facts. I need to kind of wrap it up because I'm opened up too many things. But I want this video to be a good one. We're over 30 minutes. Well, I wanted to get something up right away, a response to the video yesterday. And I've got another video. I think I put it on Facebook, maybe not YouTube. It's when I'm at the park after I left my appointments. And I just explained I wanted to do a video about the Trump administration, and I think I wanted to pray. I still want to do the videos. We still will. I wanted to do my best in covering a lot of topics about my life. See, Jim Justice in that moment was it happening in 2022, I think. Bette Midler, and he kind of like, when he did that, he was insensitive to people and the Department of Health and Human Services and other organizations in the state that do respond to bestiality. And he threw into he opened a can of worms. What do you think about what I want the Holocaust resolved for? Sleeping with a 7-year-old boy. Does he have to get his butthole out? Does Tom Coster ever say that to him? We don't know. And after I did the video, I thought about that, and I thought warmly in the tone of if that child survives, grows up, a video has potential. We don't know if Tom Costa said that. Never did, but just the tone of that, it made me feel like I was fighting for him. I was wanting the other people to get their buttholes out too. People like Harold McBride, the mayor of Welch, what I said yesterday in the video, destroyed the integrity of the oldest Veterans Day parade in U.S. history with very no regard for respecting the work that I think I had done with Jack at the City of Welch. And when he answers the phones, it was very important to me, and I was too. We always have been. When I talked to Jack, I remember exactly where I was. I was at train stop, Sam's Club, and which one is it? It's on the E-line. It's one by Josh's place. There's a post from Facebook of where I met a U.S. veteran, Army, served in Iraq, I think. Gave him bus tickets, directions. He gave me information. It's in the post. We helped each other out, but we were both homeless, and we saw each other again later. It's also where I did the, I just can't think of the name of the stop right now. My highest watched videos, which is peculiar because those videos aren't quite the tone. Hokey pokey, Nate believing his dreams, against all odds. Kind of core themes of the videos I've referenced that are linked in the description. That was the Boomers Are Sorry Ungrateful People. And that video got a lot of views really fast. And I don't mind it, regret it, because I was very angry at the time. Still am. Still am angry at Harold McBride for my attempt. And Jack is the proof that he met me at my level, and I met him at his. And he did everything I believed that he could to get Harold McBride aware that I was wanting to speak with him. It's Tom Acosta's son. See, the longest serving mayor of Welch, West Virginia, is painted in that mural. And an allegorical fantasy theme of not quite reality, but an ideal look at an alternate view of the day. And it's right by an amphitheater. And my uncle Angelo Acosta, who I was looking at pictures the other day, like in 2017, I took a picture of him and Tom Acosta just moving a board in the snow at a storage unit. I remember that day. And while I was homeless, he bought a BMW. But before that, he put the words to Martha Moore Riverfront Park on the side of the wall where the amphitheater is. The river runs by there. It's very much a part of Welch, New York. It is something that Aunt Jeannie shines beyond. I have so much more in store, and trying to make sure I cover everything I opened up. I did call for the Welch to cancel its oldest Veterans Day Parade in U.S. history. And I do not believe we should have a McDowell County Festival of Terds. Better not. But isn't it something that Porta John is in April alone, it was at least 10 times how they came through here. They checked it right at the time, they checked it. When was another time I was in Porta John? San Francisco. We don't have a video of this up yet, but I have it. Near the Golden Gate Bridge. Right around there is also a war memorial and cemetery. Cheeseman Park originally was a cemetery, but for civilians. But it's also near the Walt Disney. What's that place called? Museum of Animation, or can't quite remember it. But I do remember San Francisco was a whole lot like Disney World. It felt like downtown Disney. And it was I have experience right there after, I think it might have been after I did America the Beautiful, It's All For You. It was later at night. I had a video done, a good one. It's about the birth of Brock Blevins, David Blevins' newest grandchild. He was born around a little before July 4th, I think. And I've got more footage of that video I've never released, but I've been at Porta John the day or two before, maybe it's the same day, I can't remember exactly, but it was as I was going down to do America Beautiful, go to the Marshall Beach to get my belt hole out. There, I sure did. Do I regret it? I sure don't. There was something about getting your belt hole out in America the Beautiful. Janet Jackson was a huge part of that video. And she had to get her titties out, right? Against her will. I've got much to say on the Jacksons. I mean, these famous people. I can't talk to Elvis Presley, but I can talk to Priscilla. I've been thinking and doing so much beyond wanting to resolve Tom Acosta, but that is such a it's such a pain. I now thought about trying to contact, seriously, John Benet Ramsey's father, because that man has never given up, or hasn't, last I heard. I went by the John Benet Ramsey house before I went homeless. Went with someone to the DMV out there. We stopped there. Gordon Gay, WVU president, retiring of the silent generation. He's president of University of Colorado at Boulder around that time. One thing I want to say right now, I don't know what Gordon Gay was doing, but I know that the president's office is close to that house. It's just peculiar that it's so close. I don't think Gordon Gay had anything to do with it. I don't know what Gordon Gay was doing that day. I know what Tom Acosta was doing that day. I'm pretty sure I can show you a picture. Christmas Day, 95. But I want to say about 1995. I've been going back, if I'm referencing Mrs. Ashby, who believed in Tom Acosta to paint that mural by the Moody Funeral Home. It was since painted over. But it's the one of me at like 4 in a gray shirt with stripes on it, on a ladder, working. Or for Tom Acosta, but Mrs. Ashby wanted that mural, which is on the side of a building, to be life-size, which is impossible. And Ken Allman in Hinton, West Virginia, kind of wanted the same thing. Kind of funny. Me and Tommy still laugh about that. Pretty shirt, Ken Allman, who believed in his town and revitalizing it. I gotta get off here. We might do a 45 minutes on this video. Don't have a big formula rhythm. I just have so much in my head and so much I want to do it now. Before I was just trying to survive. And now I'm just like, that's why the channel has been so, still is, unkept, or just not like other channels, or just I don't have that urgency of like making the channel. I do, but don't. Just how good do I want to make it? Once I do it, like I want it to be done, I don't want to go back and redo it a second time. Then I failed doing it the first time the way I wanted to do it. You know, it is a completely different practice or process in fighting homelessness. I think I said before out here in Cheeseman Park when I read that story about was I at the Atlanta Greyhound station. I said I'm recalling an experience from, it'll be in the description. I'm recalling an experience of when I was first homeless, like the first week when I got to the Atlanta Greyhound station, I believe. I said, while I was reading something from Facebook that I wrote then, not all of us can read. Every single one of us can yell. The skills in the professional world do not translate. The professional world doesn't either. Colleagues and network that you know, when you're thrown into homelessness due to risk disparities that are not your fault. It's something I'll be addressing. I gotta get off here. It's been a good chat. Maybe we'll try to make another video in that 45-minute range. I do like doing short videos like I did yesterday, even if it was the one that was off-brand. But a short drug video, a video that's going to get your attention. And I'll tell you also, Google Denver homeless, or YouTube search Denver homeless. See what you see there as your top search results. Look at how many views, how many subscribers. Look at how well those videos are performing. Look at the quality of people coming into Denver complaining about homelessness, and they might be old videos. And then I want you to watch, linked in the description, the one about homeless but helping. I retitled it, but it's the one about helping. And then look at so most videos don't have a lot of descriptive input. There was more than there was, but that one I used the full description text allowance because I wanted to try to fight you search Denver homeless on YouTube to give it a fresh perspective. And it's not always just the shock jock kind of content creators. Sometimes it's the news media and it's the journalists doing, they're a little better. They do kind of have a viewer oriented angle. People that aren't homeless and that are worried about public safety and property values and just overall, this is not the way we want to live in our city kind of tones, but they're not representative of my experience being homeless with people I associated with. And this is America's first all-American city. We heard that fire truck earlier. I don't know if you can see a helicopter. I have no idea, do we? Those two things were related. It could be somebody in an emergency. It's so peaceful. I love being able to do this video, and I love everyone that watches it. I know it's unlikely. A lot of people really will. Right now, as much as I would like them to, I know it's unlikely. Jake Gyleenhaal is gonna call me tomorrow, but I have to believe that he will. I'll see y'all later.